Hello, vinyl community. Yeah, it's Rockin' Ronnie here. What, 2 weeks and another video? Yeah. Been buying some records. And, I was watching a video. I got a notification from Michael Fremer, and he'd made a video. And he's out in Exponia, out there in Chicago. He's got his video camera, and he's recording all the turntables. He's talking to folks about analog and the different record cleaners. Also, all of a sudden, he runs into Chad Kasem, the owner of Acoustic Sounds. And he's like, "Hey, Mike, I got your stuff." Mike goes over there, he shows him the test pressing from the new Jimi Hendrix UHQR pressing. It's the test pressing. UHQR. Jimi Hendrix, Axis Bold as Love. He's like, "Look at that." Mike's like, "How does that sound?" He says, "It's phenomenal sounding." Well, that's been the whole thing with this UHQR stuff. If you've ever paid attention to that stuff, MoFi used to do that. Well, Chad Kasem at Acoustic Sounds, he wants to start doing it. And his first one is going to be the Jimi Hendrix Axis Bold as Love. And so I had known this for a while, and I've been trying to pay attention. I want to buy one of those. So Chad's telling Michael at the Exponia, yeah, it's a pre-order right now. They're coming out in August, and we're already sold out of the mono. And there's not that many stereo ones left. We should be sold out, but even before it comes out. I'm like, what? Man, no one. That's what happened to that Santana that I wanted to get. They came out on that with a 245 RPM at 2-disc. Just like they did the first Santana, MoFi reissued the Santana Abraxas like that. And I had been wanting to get that. So I kept looking and waiting press, soon to be released, Then I never saw anything. Then the next thing I know, they're on eBay for $300. Well, what happened? They get sold out in the pre-order. Excuse me. They get sold out in the pre-order. So, a lot of these limited pressings, if it's going to be like Santana or Jimi Hendrix, or it's going to be Led Zeppelin or Pink Floyd, and they're making a really high-end record and it's going to be very limited, you better pay attention and order it during the pre-order. So it's just a little heads up, folks. If you want to get that Jimi Hendrix UHQR in the stereo, they're $100, and they're going quick. Chad said they were selling 40 a week. Now that he's announced it and put it up there, yeah, they're going to be selling a lot more. So if you want to get that record, time is today. That's why I'm making the little video out here, let y'all know. Secondly, I wanted to talk about a couple records that I just purchased. Again, these are from Speakers Corner, the Blue Oyster Cult records, Secret Treaties, and Tyranny and Mutation. Now these are Speakers Corner's reissues, and let's match the shirt. There you go. This is the first, and this is the first LP, second, and then the third. Speakers Corner just reissued these two, and so what I wanted to do is, because of that, I wanted to take a little bit of time here in my video, because my stereo's still packed up. I haven't had a chance to listen to any of this stuff, and once I do listen to it, I've got a first press of this record, and it comes on a like a wedding invitation, kind of that paper, that kind of fuzzy paper. I've only seen one ever of this on that print. It's the first U.S. press. All the other ones have, a plain, kind of a shiny cover. But I've only ever seen one of those, and I bought it. And I have that, and then I have a first edition Japanese press of this record, and I think I have another, like a domestic copy, first edition, but not that. And then on this one, I have, of course, a Japanese first edition, and I have another press as well, you know, a U.S. press or a Canadian press of this record. So I've got a number of these to compare to, and you know, I was reading on the Hoffman forums, and all the folks on there were talking about the record. They don't have the records I do. None of them did. Somebody said, I think I had a second edition Japanese, and the guy says, I don't have any records to compare. I think I have an 80s reissue. Yeah. No, I have got the stuff to compare these records to. And why did I go out, if I've got all those records, why am I going out and buying this? Because it's Speakers Corner. Well, let's talk about Speakers Corner, and we're going to learn a little bit about this, what's called analog delay when you're making a disc, a lacquer from the tape. Now, it's got the little hype sticker on here. Let's talk about that first, and we'll just get started there. It says on here, Speakers Corner. This LP is an entirely analog production, made from the original analog master tape. Only the best mastering studio worldwide. Pure analog, audiophile mastering. 180 gram virgin vinyl, made in Palace, Germany. Faithful reproduction of original artwork and labels, all licensed and mechanical rights paid. And so they're real proud of how they do it, just like Quality Records. And Speakers Corner, this one too, say 180 gram, high quality pressing, pure analog audiophile mastering. Okay, audiophile mastering. That's what Speakers Corner's been around for 20 years. They were around, you know, when DCC was in business, and Classic Records was in business, and Speakers Corner was in business as well. And all those companies were faithful to get the original master tape and make their reissues from that. Speakers Corner still does that today. And very few, as we know, very few recording studios, mastering studios can make an all analog record. So why is that? What are they doing? Well, it's because of this analog delay. It's because of the tape machines that they're using. These old reel-to-reels that they use, you can't buy them like that anymore. They don't make a reel-to-reel with the analog delay in it. Okay, so what is all this analog delay thing? What that is, you know, when they first came out with the 33 and a third record, they would cut that and they would keep the spacing the same all the way through. They weren't using a delay. They would go right straight from the tape right to the record. So then in the 50s, somewhere in there, they invented what's called long play records. And what's that? You know, when they look in that microscope and you're looking at the lathe and you're checking, what they're checking is this groove spacing. So what they learned was, depending on the modulation, you know, low frequencies take more room. Depending on the modulation, they can change the spacing and they can make the records last longer. But you have to have a delay in there. And it has to be precise. I think it's like 1 revolution. So that you can see what you're going to put on there, and then you can do the spacing accordingly. And you have to have an analog delay to do that, to do it analog. Well, all the new machines are a digital delay in there. So they take the master tape, and when they're making the lacquer, they're using the digital delay machine. And guess what? It's digital now. That's what happens in the mastering process. It gets turned into digital. And according to Speakers Corner, they're losing a lot of information that way. As we all know, we can hear that they're losing information. So why is using analog delay so important? Okay, so with the LP they could make it 60% longer. Okay, I think I explained it all pretty good how they said that there. So now these records, let's have a little look at it. I have wanted to do a little opening here on with all of you. You know, it's kind of fun to cut and shrink. It's just supposed to have a inner sleeve. There's not supposed to be any kind of lot of information in here. Just a inner sleeve. Let's see what they have. Yeah, original. Well, they've got it. This is the way I like it to be done. They've got this used to be the inner sleeve for the original on one side, and then you've got the other one. That's your inner sleeve. Well, it's not an inner sleeve, it's a really nice thick insert. And then they're including their catalog, of course, Speakers Corner catalog. And they do mostly like classical and jazz, but you know, they do the odd other recordings, so that's a little bit of advertising in there. And then we have the record, of course, and it's a really nice inner sleeve, poly lined, of course. And we've got the original Columbia label, the black label with the blue Oyster cult symbol on it there. I really like that. And of course you can tell the pressings, you know, Palace does a great job of making records. And of course Speakers Corner, they're a German company. That's why the records are made in Germany, because that's where they are located. But if you're trying to record, if you're trying to master a U.S. press, the U.S. companies have, you know, Columbia has the original master tape of this record. And they're not going to send it to Germany. So what Speakers Corner does, they had to get it done in the United States. And guess who they work with in the USA? Kevin Gray at Coherent Audio. And you know, we all know from the earlier video that I have made that he uses an all analog chain. He's one of the very few in the world, like Sterling Sound in New York, that can actually make a record from a tape. So Speakers Corner, they've been working with Kevin Gray for 20 years. When he was with Acoustic Tech over there at Analog Productions, you know, in 2011, he made his own studio. So now they're working through him. And that's who I can't read it anywhere, but I'm pretty sure, 99% sure, Kevin Gray's the one that remastered this, because it's got to be an all analog chain. So let's open the other one. See what's in there. Another thing that they do, they don't put their barcode on the record. Their barcodes are always on the shrink wrap. Because, you know, we don't like the barcode on our records, do we? No. We like it on the shrink wrap. So what have we got here? Same thing. The original inner sleeve had this on it. But a nice thick and really nice quality, really good quality. Same insert, and now beautiful inner sleeve. You know, I don't have to go out and buy anything now. These inner sleeves are nice, and this is on the red label and the black label. They got it on the red and the black. That's kind of the theme of this. That's the side one, song one, the red and the black. So there you have your vinyl, your label. Wonderful inner sleeve. Very nice insert. Instead of making this the inner sleeve, you know, where you drop your record in that hard plastic and messing everything up. You know, this is, if you've been paying attention now, this is what I've been telling some of the other record companies to do. This is the way you need to, if you're going to make an audiophile record and you're going to charge $35, $40 for it, you need to do it the way audiophiles like it done. And this exemplifies everything that a record connoisseur that loves great sound, this is everything that we want in a record. It comes from the master tape. It's made at a audiophile recording studio, an audiophile mastering lab, and then it's pressed at a great pressing plant. So I can't wait to listen to the records. As far as the packaging is all first rate. This has got that tight shrink on it, so I don't know. I don't usually have any trouble with the records, as long as you open them up. You know, people say, you got to take the shrink off. Well, you know, I don't like to do that because I put the hype sticker and all that on there. And it's kind of like, but as long as you don't keep it sealed in there and it gets hot or something where the record can actually twist and then warp the record, I don't ever have any trouble with these like that. So I don't know, we'll leave it in or we'll leave it out. But I guess that's it for the video. Remember now, those Jimi Hendrix records, the monos are gone. If you pre-ordered one, you're very lucky. If you haven't got one at all, yeah, you need to get on Acoustic Sound's website and go with the pre-order. And thanks very much for watching. I really appreciate it. And we'll get back to you soon. Thanks.